I used to think the woods were peaceful, quiet, empty, safe. But after what happened during my summer as a Firewatch lookout, I don't go near forests anymore. Because some nights, when the wind is just right, I still hear that whistling. And I know it's not the wind. This happened about 5 years ago, when I took a summer job as a Firewatch lookout in a national forest. If you don't know what that is, you basically live alone in a tall tower in the middle of the forest for months. Your job is simple. Watch for smoke, report fires. That's it. Just you, a radio, and miles of trees. The tower I was assigned to was old, really old. It stood on a hill, surrounded by dense forest, and the nearest road was about 6 miles away. No internet, barely any phone signal, just a radio that connected me to another lookout about 15 miles north. His name was Mark. I never met him in person, but we talked on the radio a few times a day to report weather and visibility. The first few days were actually kind of nice. Quiet mornings, beautiful sunsets, stars so bright at night, it didn't feel real. But on the 4th night, something happened that I still can't explain. I woke up around 2:13 a.m. to a sound. At first, I thought it was part of a dream, but then I heard it again. Whistling. It was faint, but clear. Someone was whistling a tune. It was coming from somewhere down in the trees, near the base of the tower. I remember sitting up in bed, just listening, trying to tell myself it was just a bird, or the wind, or something. But it wasn't random like the wind. It was a pattern, a person, slowly, whistling the same melody, over and over again. I went to the window and looked down into the trees, but it was too dark to see anything. The tower was high enough that my flashlight barely reached the ground, so I just stood there, listening. After about a minute, the whistling stopped. Just stopped. Like whoever was doing it knew I was listening. I didn't sleep much the rest of the night. The next morning, I radioed Mark and asked if hikers ever came this far off trail. He was quiet for a few seconds. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. He said, "If you hear whistling at night, don't answer it. And don't go down there." I asked him what he meant, but he just said, "Just trust me." Then he changed the subject. The whistling came back the next night. This time, it was closer. Same tune. Slow, calm, like whoever was doing it had all the time in the world. I tried to ignore it. I really did. I turned on the small radio in the tower, just to make noise, so I wouldn't hear it. But then, something happened that scared me more than the whistling. I heard footsteps on the stairs. Slow, heavy, one step at a time. The stairs to the tower were metal, so every step made a loud sound. Clang, clang, clang. Someone was climbing the tower. I froze. I couldn't move. I just stared at the door. The stairs wrapped around the outside of the tower, so I couldn't see who was coming up until they reached the top. The footsteps got closer and closer until they stopped right outside the door. Then there was silence. A few seconds passed, and then 3 knocks on the door. Slow, deliberate. 3 knocks. Then a man's voice from the other side of the door said, very calmly, "Hey, can you let me in? I'm lost." I walked slowly toward the door. but something felt wrong, really wrong. So I looked through the small window next to the door, and I wish I hadn't, because the man standing there was smiling. Not a normal smile. He was just standing there in the dark, smiling, not blinking, not moving. And then he started whistling the same tune. I backed away from the door and grabbed the radio, calling Mark over and over. When he finally answered, I told him someone was at my tower. He didn't sound surprised. He just said, very calmly, "Do not open the door, no matter what he says." I asked him if he knew who it was. There was a long pause. Then he said, "You're not the first lookout to report him." The man stayed outside the door for hours. Sometimes he knocked. Sometimes he just stood there. Sometimes I heard him walk back down the stairs, and then I'd hear the whistling again from the trees right before sunrise. It stopped when I finally looked outside. He was gone. No footprints. No sign anyone had been there. I quit that job the next day. But sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I still hear that same whistling tune coming from somewhere outside. This is log number 001, the Firewatch Tower incident. And if you ever hear whistling in the woods at night, don't answer it.